Howdy folks, welcome back to Melanson Creek Farm. It's been a while since I posted a video. I apologize for that. I had took a week off, went down to the coast and done some inshore fishing on the Neuse River down that way, and done some surf fishing off the southern Outer Banks. And I was going to take you guys along with me, but every time I went to film something, it was just nothing was biting. It was not that good of a fishing week. The runoff from the hurricanes really was murkied up the waters down there. The salinity levels of the salt water was really low. It just had so much fresh water influx down there that the fish was just a little confused, and we did bring just a little home to put in the freezer, so pleased about that. Our thoughts and prayers were continually on the folks of Western North Carolina and the struggles and the heartbreaks that they're facing with the damages and the devastation that's come through that area. We are thankful for all of you that have been so supportive of the supplies, whether it's monetary donations or otherwise. We are so appreciative of all of y'all that have reached out to these folks and given them the hand of fellowship and helping them with all that they are going through. But I wanted to give you a quick update on the garden. This afternoon we're doing a little bit of frost preparation. We are under a frost warning here in central North Carolina this evening. Temperatures are expected down around the mid 30s. So I'm right here at our pumpkins, and as you can see, I have just let them go and let them do whatever they wanted to. And you can see that actually we've got a few that have actually started to produce. There's one here on the end that's growing quite well. It does have some, probably wind up having some blossom rot on it, but we're just gonna let it see what it makes and go on with it from there. And the lettuce patch is doing real well. The lettuce mix, the spinach that we planted down here, just never could get it to come on. Every time that it would sprout leaves, insects would get in here and start munching on it, and it just never would make. I think that's probably the only one that survived, and you can see where something's been chewing on it. But we're thinking about maybe replanting it and doing a little bit of pest management in these areas. The cabbage is starting to come on, and you can see that again we've had something that's started to munch on it. And I can see, not tell if you can see from those in the video there, but there is some paw marks here in the soil, not leaving a defined impression. So I do not believe that it's a deer. I believe it's something a little bit shorter, probably a wabbit. So we might have to do some rabbit trapping out here. But you can see we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that have started to come on up. And if I ain't mistaken, I believe it was 22 seeds, somewhere around in there, that we planted here. So germination was not so good there. So we're gonna have to back up and punt on that one, see if we can find out something else that we can do a little bit better for next year. So I've got to get the lettuce covered up and get these covered up, and moving on up here. Yeah, we still got some melons out there, but you know, a couple of them here look like they might do a little something, but you know, most of these have just grown overripe and never did really good and develop. So we're gonna donate these to some treats for the chickens, we have let our okra go to seed. Every once in a while I'll come over here and get me off a little picking of it, take it inside and fry it up. But for the most part, we're just going ahead and letting the okra go to seed. Make sure we've got a good stand of seeds on that. And you can remember, I think one of the latter videos I posted, I dug up all the corn stalks there, and the beans have really died back, and they are ready to be picked and harvested for the seeds. We'll probably do that coming up next week. We've got a trip planned for this weekend. I'll be out of town, but we'll look at doing that next week. Taters are still in the ground. I know I said I'd probably be digging them up toward the end of last month, but never did get around to it. And as long as they're in the ground, they're keeping. And we'll probably wait till we'll look and see what the almanac says about harvesting the root crop, and probably be digging it this month. And once I put the fence around the sweet potatoes, they started growing leaves back again and started producing a little bit and started growing more and more. So I am guessing that was probably a deer that was getting into these. I did set my trail cam up to try to catch something, but that was after I had put the fence up, so didn't get anything on it. But moving around here to where the broccoli is now, this is something I'm really impressed with. It is really growing well. I noticed that it's not growing upright. This is the first time I've ever tried to grow broccoli, and it's looking like it's not developing too much of a stalk to where it can try to stand up on its own. I may try to put a cage up around these or stake them up somehow, but I got to get these covered up as well. Of course, the cosmos and the sunflowers are died back, and my peppers, I was going to trim them back this week and overwinter them. I was going to do it in the greenhouse, but you know the condition of the greenhouse if you've been watching. Well, if you hadn't seen it lately, it's just completely tattered and torn. I was going to try to salvage what I could and just use the leftover that I had to cover over top of it for the winter, but I'm just going to wind up having to tear all of this off and recover it. So anyway, I was going to do a video on how to overwinter your peppers. You just trim them back. It's you prune them pretty close all the way back, not much left at all, and then you can pot them up, take them inside, or put them somewhere for overwinter. And still a few cosmos left on that one, and you can see the volunteers that's come up, so I'm just gonna let them grow on. But over here where we planted our carrots now, they're coming up. They're starting to get some little sprouts here, starting to grow a few true leaves there on some of these. And the germination on this was probably compared to what I put in the ground, I would say probably 20%. Didn't do very well on that planting, so we'll just have to do a little bit more research next time we put some of these in the ground for the spring, and see how we do next time. But I got to get these covered up, and what I plan to do is, if you remember when I had freshly planted the strawberries here in my pallet planters, I had put a bird cloth over these. I was just concerned about the birds getting in there and digging them out. So I've still got a lot of it left. I tried pulling off the label so y'all could see what kind it was, but it's just garden mesh netting I got off of Amazon. It's good for like birds and frogs and deers and spiders and ladybugs. So I've got plenty of this left. I was going to use some of this to put over the beds, and then I still have this landscape fabric here that I was going to use as well. I got some of these landscape pins, and I was going to use those to pin the corners down, that way it doesn't blow off. So I'll get right back to you here shortly. I don't have my tripod set up today, or I would just put you on the tripod, set you on fast forward, and go after it. But I'll bring you back here when we get this done. Alrighty folks, well, we got this garden netting up over our carrots, and we put the same over here over our broccoli. Broke some of these stakes and kind of put them down through the middle so I'd try to keep it up off of them just a little bit. So we got those done. And we done the same down here where our cabbage is. We got some stakes that we put down in between them to kind of keep the fabric up off of it. Run out of stakes, landscape pins rather, and started having to use some pieces of wood and brick, whatever I could find, just to hold the fabric down over this to get it through the frost. Just wanted to bring you that and show you what we was doing to prepare for our first frost warning of this fall. I appreciate you joining us here this evening in Melancton Creek Farm. Y'all take care.